Parents, staff demand Toronto District School Board drop drag queen story time opt-out. Not drop the story time, drop the ability to opt out. The board is standing firm. Several sources told the Star that the opt-out was linked to and justified under the province's sex ed curriculum, which allows students in grades 1 to 8 to take part in alternative activities. Let me just read one or two lines from this, and then I'd love your response, Barbara. Parents and staff are demanding that the Toronto District School Board stop allowing students to opt out of drag queen storytime events. Like right there, that's crazy. A parent is demanding that other parents not be allowed to choose. So, like, keep your own kids in if you want, but you're demanding that he and she be forced to attend? Toronto PFLAG and the board's 2SLGBTQ plus Community Advisory Committee have been advocating unsuccessfully for weeks since the issue of attendance and consent rode at a Pride celebration at Bruce Public School in early June. They say the opt-out violates the Ontario Human Rights Code and are calling for an apology for the harm caused by the decision. I won't read more, but it's just so crazy to me. And you know, there was a story, CTV covered it, I think the CBC did also. There are schools in Canada, some in Ottawa, some in Toronto, and other in Mississauga for sure, where 50, 60, 70, 80% of the student population is Muslim. And there were schools when they had Pride events where 80% of the kids were kept home. Now, obviously, these schools in Toronto where they're having this battle are not that way. But this is becoming an issue for the Muslim community, which I think didn't have a lot to say about gay bars and gay things when they were in adult places. But now that they're coming to the schools, I think it's a five-alarm fire for the Muslim community.
I think it is. And look, they wouldn't, I mean, it also is for the Christian community, you know, for Christians who nobody pays any attention to them. They don't care. But they do care about Muslims because that's, you know, one of their intersectional groups. It should be a five-alarm fire for anybody. Look, if you wanted to make every kid in class recite the Lord's Prayer, you'd see a real five-alarm fire. Because, you know, parents would say, I want to opt out, and they'd opt out, and everybody would say, of course you can opt out. That's a religious thing. Well, Drag Queen Story Hour is now a religious thing. Like these drag queens are now kind of holy figures, you know, and they have to be treated like they're some kind of very sacred people who are coming to educate the kids. Why don't they? I mean, nobody cared when they stayed in their bars. Drag queens have a very raunchy, very sex-laden brand, and suddenly they're just harmless, you know. Like, why? What is this fascination with these drag queens? I know, I think I know what it is, but not to let parents opt out from it when they are obviously associated with sexuality of an extremely specific kind. We're in La La Land on this issue.
You know, 60 years ago, Bob Hope told a joke, and it was really funny at the time. I don't know if you ever heard of it. He said, it's now, homosexuality is now legal in California, he said. He said, I want to leave before it becomes mandatory. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's sort of a Bob Hope type joke, a little bit dry, a little bit corny. And in the 60s, that was actually funny and a little edgy, but also gay friendly. But that joke is not a joke anymore. You cannot opt out. You can't take your kids. A drag queen is coming to school. There's nothing educational about a drag queen. It's a sexualization of children. And no, you cannot leave. It's mandatory. You mentioned the holy status of these. Basically, they're strippers. I mean, take the gender out of it. Would you be fine if strippers were coming to say, hey, let's twerk. Let me show you how I use my stripper pole. People would say, what are you doing? Why are you sexualizing children? But because they have, you know, because it's in the name of queer as opposed to heterosexual, it's you're right. It's become like a holy
but you mentioned
thing.
you mentioned the word twerk, which recalls to me there is a drag queen. I forget the name he goes by, and his routine is he does a whole shtick in front of the kids, teaching them how to twerk, and he reads a story to them. I think that he wrote, maybe, I don't know, about an Olympic twerker, and what is a twerker? And he demonstrates, like, he's dressed up, of course, like a. And he sort of does the twerking motion. He says, look, you just make your bum go up and down like this. Well, twerking is an action that simulates sexual intercourse. And he's laughing and doing twerk, 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 and encouraging the kids to imitate him. And then reading this story about the Olympic twerker who had, for some reason, couldn't go to I don't know, whatever it was. And all these parents, this is now considered family-friendly entertainment. And these parents, I think I saw the audience for that one. There were parents there laughing, clapping. Honestly, Ezra, this whole gender woo thing, we're now in a kind of stage where people like you and me and other people that kind of get it, we're looking around and saying, what do you not see? Like, and we're, I don't know, I just wish these Muslim parents would like continue. People have to listen to them, so I wish they would continue with their campaign, and start leading other parents to understand this is about. It's not so much having sex. These people aren't encouraging the 5-year-olds to have sex. They're encouraging them to have in their mind the idea that sex at any age, or thinking about sex, or wanting sex, or wanting to know more about it, is natural and normal. And this is called grooming. Yeah. This is grooming.